Thank you, Ghana and Prachi, and the complete Tequila. This is going to be an awesome event. Thank you for the opportunity. Let's get started. Time is critical. So, in case if you want to connect with me, the Tequila Slack group is there for sure, but you can connect with me on Twitter or LinkedIn as well. I'll share this QR code again later towards the end of my talk. So, we know the software development life cycle, analysis, requirements turned into designs, into development to implement that, validate the same, make sure everything is fine, and then deploy it to production, get feedback from the users, and the cycle continues. Now, the traditional model was very slow, non-collaborative, throw over the wall kind of approach. Hence, agile and the shift left movement made a lot of sense, where we are getting quick feedback, focus on the customer or the end users, and see if our product is actually adding value to them or not. But the shift left and agile actually brought about various different types of challenges from a quality perspective. These challenges could be that in the form of you're shipping fast, but your quality is not really scaling. You're not able to test everything very quickly. Your designs are approved in Figma, but don't often match with what your application has been built. So there's no real, there are gaps in the design and what has been implemented. A selector-based UI automation is fragile, slow to maintain, flaky, causing intermittent failures or failures which don't affect our users. Our tests still do not give the feedback. And though manual testing is supposed to come down, and by manual, this is not to be mistaken with exploratory testing, but things that are not automated, you need to test manually. And those manual tests do not scale across all different browsers, devices, for native apps, hybrid apps, and PDF documents, and so on. So the net result is we write a lot of code, we do not get enough coverage, the feedback cycle is late, and we miss a lot of defects, especially UI defects as well in this process. And this is where a shift left mindset that we have, AI is actually a big boon to that, to help optimize and reduce some of these challenges that we face. Now, I'm going to introduce you to a term, the fast magic. And what does that really mean with AI? Okay. So, a disclaimer, magic traditionally means the power to influence events using mysterious or supernatural forces. That is not what we are talking about. The magic that I'm referring to is something that is going to produce a good result, extraordinary result in a very effortless manner for us. So what is this the fast magic tests or testing that we do? These are the criteria, in my opinion, that any tools, technologies, processes, practices that we use along with AI, we need to make sure these criteria are met. And that is, it is deterministic, it is fast, accurate, scalable. T is overloaded, it is traceable and trusted, which also leads to maintainable tests, adaptable tests as your application evolves. There is governance around these tools and technologies that we are using so that there is compliance in place as well. It is inclusive for all the roles on the team, not for very specific set of people. And again, the last C of magic is it is cohesive, consistent, and collaborative approach. So this is the fast magic criteria that I have whenever I'm using any form of AI in my SDLC. So what does this mean from quality without compromise using AI-powered testing? Starting from Figma, that is design, all the way to production. So in design, when we leverage AI, you should be able to validate the design itself. There will be different versions of the design that you will create, the designers will create, make sure those designs are in sync, and as expected changes only they are pushed through to the development teams. And of course, you need to validate if your application matches the design. AI can help a lot in this aspect. From a development perspective, you need to think about how the components, UI components, can be tested at scale. And these components could be your storybook components, or it could be actual UI component tests that developers write where they are stepping out the complete backend and testing each part of the workflow in isolation before the build is passed on to the next set of team members who's going to test it from an integration and end-to-end perspective. From a testing perspective, we need to think about regression testing, where regression issues should not be introduced as your application is evolving, and you need to do that at scale. And also you need to think about progression, where new functionality is validated at scale across all different browsers and devices as well. Along with this, we will be able to get a lot of value in defect analysis and trend analysis as well. How is the application quality over time, and which are the areas where you need to focus on more or less? And the last bit is from a deployment perspective, we've got a lot of telemetry and observability in place, but how can you monitor all of this and take corrective actions in a very seamless fashion without having to put in a lot of effort? The right types of alerts and other mechanisms are in place to give you the feedback if something is not going as per expectation. And this is where the Applitools intelligent testing platform comes into picture, where we've got, for example, starting from the start of the SDLC, you've got ways how you can validate your Figma plugins, or even if you've got designs in different images or PDF documents, you can use any different programming languages or a CLI approach, how you test those designs and documents. You can test your UI components in isolation using any different automation tool or frameworks that you might have, the developers might already be using. And when it comes to testing, you could be using any automation tool of choice with AI in place. You can integrate Applitools as part of that and get increased test coverage without doing anything special or anything drastically different as part of your automation. Without automation Applitools, you will be ending up writing a lot of code, depend on a lot of locators. But with Applitools, with small configuration changes, you'll be able to get infinite coverage by reducing code and getting very accurate results. This approach works for regression as well as progression testing, because now the same screen validation will be able to cover both aspects automatically for you. There's also a codeless automation solution that Applitools provides in the form of autonomous product, where using NLP and AI, you'll be able to generate your tests very quickly, do full website testing. You'll be able to do intent-based testing, test data generation, API testing, and a lot more. So to summarize, the Applitools platform can offer you an interactive and flexible way of authoring the tests, deterministic LLMs for test executions, which is very important. No hallucinations over here. Code-based plus codeless testing, leveraging AI. There is zero setup and built-in infrastructure, so you don't have to worry about maintenance in that aspect. And we've got the best-in-class visual AI. I hope you'll be able to try this out and give it a spin. And of course, reach out to me or the Applitools team if you need any more information about this. Thank you very much for this opportunity, and have a wonderful conference today.